I'm the Mister, and welcome to my lab. Today I'm going to be walking you through building the toolkit. Now, a craftsman is only as good as his tools, and today I'm going to be helping you build a kit to craft a first-class mind. If you do what I tell you to do, the way that I tell you to do it, and give me an honest effort, I guarantee success. Now, you might not get an A right away, but you will do better in the long run if you just stick with the program. What I'm going to be talking to you about today is the result of over a decade of trial and error with diverse students from all over the planet. I don't think this works, I know it works because I've seen it work over and over again. I'm here to help you break away from that system of dependent learning and become an independent learner. The Gateway Method relies on your input. You can even send me an email through my website at gatewaymethod.us. You can message me through Facebook at The Mister's Homeroom, or even check out my Twitter at The Mister at Mister's Homeroom. So, where do we start? At the beginning, duh. Every toolkit needs a toolbox, and this is your toolbox. This won't be all your tools, but it's where you keep the tools you need day to day. The key feature is a lot of pouches and pockets to hold material. You want to be careful that you don't get too pouch happy though, because they can become trash magnets. You don't want to try to put everything in your binder. That just makes a mess. You're going to have your bag with you anyway, so why not use it? The trick is to find a place for everything and keep everything in its place. Now, it does take a little bit of time and a little discipline to set it up, but spending a little time learning this system in the beginning will save you tremendous amounts of time later. So it's worth the effort. If your pens and pencils are always in the same place, you'll build the muscle memory to find them quick and easy. If you always put them there, they'll always be there, and you'll never waste time searching. The key is flexibility. But you have to make sure you understand the system before you start trying to change it. The idea is to create a cohesive organizational system and then learn how to work it until you're living with it. So you get to class. You want to have everything set up that whatever you need is readily available and easy to access. But you also need to be ready for anything to break down, or fail. In the Gateway Method, we always have a backup. 2 is 1, 1 is none. Without a backup, you only have a single point of failure, and that's always a bad idea. In the Gateway Method, we use black pens for a specific purpose, and we use red pens for a specific purpose, and our pencils have a job. Everything has a specific purpose, and if your black pen runs out, you can't just take notes in red. This is about a systematic way of processing new information and incorporating that information into your existing body of knowledge. So you're in class and you need to get started immediately. Remember, we're here to work. The first thing you want to do is make sure you're not missing any due dates. You also want to have a way to organize anything new. That's what this is for. This is your daily folder. The left-hand side holds any papers or materials that need to be turned in for the day. So the first class or meeting is on top. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing at home, this is already set up. As soon as you open the folder, you should see any papers clipped together that need to be turned in. If there's nothing here to turn in, no worries. You should just see 3 pages of Cornell notes ready to go for the class. Remember, you're taking class notes, not course notes. Oh, you don't know what that means? Well, then you're probably going to need those Cornell note videos. If you're not a subscriber, pause this video, click subscribe, and make sure you hit the little bell so that you get a notification of when I'm posting videos. You can go ahead and do that now. I'll wait. Okay, so you got out your note paper, but how are you taking notes? We always take notes in pen and correct in pencil for reasons that I'll go into more in the lesson on Cornell notes. But for now, get a pen. Get a pen. How many pens? 2, because 2 is 1, 1 is none. You need 2 black and 2 red pens. Black for notes, red for questions and side notes, but that's in the Cornell note video. I really like these. These are Pilot G210s. Not that they're a sponsor or anything yet. Anyway, good wide lines, real smooth, easy writing. You also want 2 mechanical pencils with backup lead. I recommend 0.7 or 0.9 size lead. The 0.7s are good. Smaller than 7 tends to break a little easy. Bigger than 9 is like a blowgun dart. Since we're talking about pencils, you also want a separate eraser. Don't use the one on the pencil because that's usually a plug where you put the lead in. Now you're not going to need this stuff until later, but it's always a good idea to keep a pencil and an eraser in your kit in case sometime in the day you have an opportunity to either get caught up on something or get ahead on something. Usually you're going to be doing corrections to your notes at home. So during class, you really only need to have your notes and a black pen. The last 2 writing utensils we're going to talk about are Sharpies and highlighters. The fine retractable Sharpie is what you want. The clicky ones are the best because they're quick draw and you don't have a cap to get lost and make a mess in your kit. I haven't really been able to find a reliable highlighter that doesn't have a cap, but if you can find one, use it. Now, speaking of highlighters, this is where we get really high speed. You need 2 yellow and 2 blue. With these, you can actually make 3 colors. Want to see how? What do you think happens when you highlight over something in yellow and then go back over it with blue? Same thing works if you highlight over it in blue and highlight something in yellow. In the Gateway method, we don't mess around with spiral notebooks or composition books. That's kid stuff. Don't waste time learning to work with tools that aren't going to be useful later. In the Gateway method, we use tools that are useful for life. The Gateway method uses college ruled loose leaf paper with reinforced holes if you can get them. If you don't have reinforced paper, that's fine. I got a trick for that. It also works in case you accidentally tear a hole out of your paper. But you're going to want to subscribe if you want to get those tips and tricks videos. There's actually a really good reason why you don't want to use spiral notebooks. You're going to want to move pages around and reorganize your materials as we go. You can't hole punch a handout or quiz and insert it into your notes if your notes are spiral bound. Also, if you need to tear something out to turn it in, you don't want to mess with these flyaways. They're messy and sloppy, and it's just not a good look. Besides, what happens when you get it back? How do you put papers back into a spiral notebook? I mentioned hole punching. This is what you need. A slim little 3-hole punch is essential. But you see these little holes right here? Do not clip this into your binder. These things will snap like candy canes and it's a huge pain in the butt. You also want to get one that has a little plastic cover over the hole puncher to hold the mess. You can always invest in something that's a little more substantial, but you don't want to carry this around with you. Leave it at home. You can always put anything that needs to be hole punched into your daily folder and just take care of it when you get to the house. You want to keep this in your kit in case you get a chance to get caught up during the day or get ahead. At the end of class, your notes are done. You just put them back in your daily folder on the left side. Flip them back together and put the divider tab on the opposite side of the paper. As you go through the day, the left-hand side loses paper while the right side gains paper. The left side is in number order 1, 2, 3, 4 at the start of the day. When you get home, the right side is in reverse number order 4, 3, 2, 1. When you sit down and do your homework, everything is in order and easily clips into your binder. Oh, did I mention a binder? Okay, quit complaining. The only reason why you're complaining right now is because you weren't working with the mister from the beginning, and that's on you. Okay, maybe it's on your folks. You gotta be smart about the binder because this is where the knowledge lives, and it's a really easy thing to get wrong. Now, this is probably what most of your teachers told you you need because they've never really had to keep up with one of these things, and they haven't really thought it through. And this thing, cheap. Crap. We don't waste our time with cheap. If you're going to spend the money, you got to be smart about it. If you buy cheap, you end up buying twice when the first one breaks. When your teacher tells you to get something like this, it's not really their fault. I mean, do your teachers even use a binder? They've got a desk. And have you looked at their desk? This goofy thing is bulky, it's cumbersome, and if you've ever tried to put this in your backpack and carry it around with you, forget about it. This is what we use. You can put half your classes in each one, and it's a lot easier to get at what you need when you need it, even when they're full. Also, when you stack them like this, they make a solid block in your bag, so you don't have some lopsided mess trying to give you scoliosis or something. In the binder itself, you're going to need some subdividers to divide out your classes, and you're going to want subdividers to divide out sections within the class. Finally, on the must-have list is a daily planner or calendar. The calendar is going to be critical as we get into time management, back planning projects, and tracking things like progress towards goals and grades. But you guessed it, more on that later. You can make a calendar in Excel like this one, or you can just download it from my website. There are some other items that you might want to include in your kit, and I'll be doing videos about those later, but these are the essentials. These are the must-haves. I have a shopping list and organization guide available for download on my website in the curriculum section under organization. You can just go here to gatewaymethod.us and scroll down until you see curriculum and resources. Click on the curriculum link, scroll down a little bit, and there you have it. The supplies list is right there on top. You can download this, print it out, and it's got a list of all of the items that I just talked about, plus a second list of items that are good to have, along with a brief description of how to organize both the binder and the pocket folder. So with this kit, you are well on your way. I'm going to be here to support you in your efforts to stop being a passive receiver of information and become an aggressive seeker of knowledge. And of course, don't forget to subscribe right here on YouTube. Thanks for watching. I'm the Mister, and I'm just trying to help. Think about what you're doing, not how you're doing. What you're doing, not how you're doing. What, not how. What, not how. What, not how. Think what you're doing, not how you're doing it. Don't use the one on the pen. Yeah.
How's it mean?
I don't know. It might be time to upgrade this dang camera.